everybody is reading this right now.
But that's why they say don't always judge a book by its cover, because you never know.
If you don't make it, you're dead. Scroll, because I feel like I have not. Welcome to LA. The camera's gonna die, the camera's gonna die, and I hope it doesn't die. Anyways, hi, hello, hi, welcome back. Welcome to my next reading vlog for Main Quest 4. And Main Quest 4 is all about the Inferno Fortress, so play the video here.
Deep within the scorched valley, a fortress rises from the ashes, forged in fire, guarded by shadows. Welcome, brave adventurer, to the Inferno Fortress. Here the walls burn with ancient fury, and every step forward tests your strength. Only the bold will survive its trials, and only the relentless will seize victory. Within these blazing halls, your mission is clear. For Main Quest 4, you must read a book with intense stakes and high, unyielding tension. A story where every chapter tightens the flame, and every page dares you to continue. Choose your book wisely, ready your courage, and step into the fire. Because once you cross the threshold of the Inferno Fortress, there's no turning back. The flames are hungry, the walls are watching, and only the strongest will emerge unburned. Quest 4 begins now.
So as you can see, we are in the Inferno Fortress, so the prompt is to read a book with intense stakes and or high tension. And for my main quest book, I'm going to be reading Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman. And this book is literally everybody in the Druid chat convinced me to read it because everybody is reading this right now. I feel like every Druid is reading this. And this is a lit RPG in which we are following our main character, Carl. And Carl is outside at 2 o'clock in the morning having a smoke when his ex-girlfriend's cat, Princess Donut, that he ends up really caring about and keeping, ends up jumping out the window at 2 o'clock in the morning. And so he has to go get the cat. And then as he steps outside, everything just shuts down. Like everything flattens, all the buildings flatten. And then we just hear this huge loudspeaker, and it turns out that it's this like intergalactic game show that he gets to become a part of, in which he has to go after all these dungeons and level up basically. And if he makes it all the way, then he gets to become the ruler of the world. But if not, then, you know, he's shiznit out of luck. And so we are following him, and this story is so good. I'm like already halfway through it, so I'll give you guys my updates later. But just know that this is a lit RPG. It's very humorous, but there is definitely high stakes, because if you don't make it, you're dead. For Main Quest 4, I'm choosing Dungeon Crawler Carl. For my rolls, I'm going to show my rolls here. I did it a different day just so that I would already know what books I'm reading. But the first one that I got was roll number 1, which is the Molten Gate. So read a book featuring fire, heat, or volcanic imagery. And for that, I'm going to choose Terror at the Gates by Scarlett St. Clair. So there's no lava or anything in here. As far as I know, there's red. But, I mean, we're following, it's pretty much kind of like hell, right? Because we're following Lilith's character as she's in this, like, underground city. And I feel like it still has that fiery... Hi, the camera ended up dying. So, as I was saying, we're following this very heated, fiery energy. So for that one, I'm going to be reading Terror at the Gates. And this is the story of Lilith. This is a Lilith Lucifer retelling. Don't know too much about what this is about, but I kind of want to go into it blindly. So, reading this one for one. Next, I rolled a 0 or a 10, I should say. I rolled a 10 because it's a D10. Purposely chose a D10. That's an idea that I got from one of the members on the Dungeons Book Dragons Readathon. So I'll put her YouTube somewhere down below because I watched her video and I was like, oh, I like that idea. I was like, I'm going to use that idea, but I'm definitely going to give you credit for it because obviously that was not my idea. That was 100% her idea. So I will put that down below. I'll put her name down below in her video where she mentioned it down below as well. Anyway, so I rolled a 10, and so for that I chose it as like I could choose whatever I want, and for that one I chose number 8, which was to read a book where someone is being hunted and or haunted, so that I could finally finish up Play Nice by Rachel Harrison, and because I'm almost done with it, and so I can use that one for this side quest. And this one is about a girl who moves into her childhood haunted home, so I'm gonna finish that one up. Goodness gracious. And then I rolled a 0 again, or why do I keep saying 0? I rolled a 10 again. Why am I acting like I don't know my dice? I rolled a 10 again, and so for that one I chose to go with number 5, which is The Fortress's Secrets, to read a book with hidden rooms and or secret societies. And for that one I want to read The Apprentice to the Villain because I have this one on Libby and I have like 3 days to return it, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna listen to this one. And this one we are basically following our assistant to the villain named Evie Sage and her shenanigans, and it is a very like humorous, lighthearted read. But I know that the castle that the villain lives in has a lot of like secret rooms and all that, which is why I am going to be checking this one out. Now the next one that I got is The Melting Stairs. So to read a book, a sweet book that will make your heart melt, or a twisty book that will make your brain melt. So I have 2 options for this. I've been trying to do everything in my power to try to get to the entanglement of rival wizards. However, because I already have 2 books waiting for me on Libby that I want to listen to before I have to return them because already somebody's waiting for one of them, I want to either listen to Lock and Key, which is about this, I believe it's a guy that can shapeshift into the Loch Ness Monster, but we shall see. I'm going into that one blindly too. And Love and Other Conspiracies. One of those 2 I want to like listen to. And Love and Other Conspiracies, it's about this girl that's she's like a producer. And then we have this guy that like has this show that's all about like conspiracy theories, and it's about them 2 falling in love while working on this show and these conspiracy theories and all that with like Bigfoot and all that jazz. So I want to read one of those 2, especially since Love and Other Conspiracies are in my 10 before the end. So it's going to be one of those 2. So those are the books that I'm reading for this reading vlog. Let's get started. Good morning, you guys. Welcome. You can tell that I just woke up. Anyways, it's raining today and it's so beautiful. Like, I love it. I live in Southern California, so it never rains here. But it's just so nice to wake up to the rain, and it's just so pretty. And anyways, it's just so pretty, and like I'm so happy. And today, let me tell you what we're gonna do today. So today, my fiance and I are supposed to spend the day together, supposedly. So we'll see how that goes. And then tonight we have our Friendsgiving with our friends. Obviously, it's Friendsgiving. And then we're gonna play Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm having fun. It's gonna be nice. And the girls are gonna go with their friend for the day. So it's gonna be nice. I'll let you know how much reading I can get done. It seems like I'm not going to be able to get a lot done, but hopefully I can. So fingers crossed. Anyways, that's what I'm up to. So you guys. So I am almost done with Play Nice by Rachel Harrison, and I'm going to be using this book for side quest number 8, I believe, which is like somebody that's being haunted or hunted. And because I didn't get to finish this for main quest 3, so I'm going to be able to wrap this up for side quest for main quest 4, but the side quest, if that makes any sense. Because I'm really liking the story. So we're following this girl because I feel like I have not. Welcome to LA. Anyways, so we're following our main character whose name is Cleo, and Cleo, she is an influencer. She's like a stylist and she has like a big following, and she was raised by her father, and then her mother was just kind of like a stranger because they had a very like estranged relationship when she was growing up. And then the mother ends up passing away, and the mother had this house that was very infamously known as like a haunted house, and the mom even wrote a book about it, and the father told his kids to promise that they would never read the book. And so they have followed that promise up until Cleo ends up she takes the house because her sisters don't want it. So she's like, you know what? I think this is going to be really good for my following. I'm going to do like a DIY thing, and I'm going to record the whole process, and it's going to help with my followers and this and that. And so she goes and she starts fixing the house up, and then she starts noticing different like weird little things happening to begin with. Like, first of all, she is falling asleep, and then she wakes up on the completely opposite side of the bed, and then she wakes up one day, and then there's like these letters scribbled on her art sketch pad that says hello. And then there's like little happy faces. She doesn't remember doing any of those things. And then she finds a copy of her mom's book, and her mom had annotated it for her and told her like, hey Cleo, this is for you. I did want you to read this. I want you to hear my side of the story. And so we have Cleo that is starting to read her mom's book, and then in between the actual book here, the story of Cleo, we're following the mom's story and how Cleo grew up, and how basically this entity that is in the house formed an attachment specifically to Cleo, and now Cleo is back in the house. So what is going to happen? And so we're following that. Like I said, I'm a little bit more than halfway. I'm really enjoying the story. However, the main character, Cleo, I cannot stand her at all. She is so obnoxious. She is so full of herself. She has such a big ego, and I just cannot stand her. I just can't stand her. Like, she's not a good person. She is not a good friend. She is not a good, like, she doesn't seem like she would be a good significant other either. Like, I just cannot stand her. I don't know. That's the only, like, problem that I have with it. However, even though I cannot stand the main character, usually that stops me from enjoying a book, but I don't really seem to mind it as much because I'm still really enjoying the story. Would I care if something horrific happened to her? No, not at all. But but the story itself is still so good. So we'll see what happens. The only characters that I like so far are Austin, which is her neighbor, and Tommy, which is her sister's husband. I think those are like the two sweetest. And I kind of like Daphne too, which is one of the sisters. I think those are like the only 3 characters that I kind of like. And so yeah, so that's where I'm at with this book. And so I will let you know once I wrap it up, I guess, how I feel about it, because I feel like I didn't really update you guys on it in the last vlog, because we had to take over, because this vlog had to take over. So anyways, that's it, you guys. I hope you guys, yeah, I'll update you guys later on this. Anyways, it is the day after the Friendsgiving and us playing like D&D and stuff. We only got to play her a little bit because my friend was so drunk and she ended up crashing, which is fine, fair. But so I woke up today and I was so happy because even though I did drink a pretty good amount, I woke up fine. Like, I didn't wake up with a headache. I don't feel tired. I don't feel hungover. Like, I feel fine, just hungry. That's it. So I feel pretty good. Oh my gosh. I feel like it's like a hangover from like my 20s. You know what I mean? But I'm not in my 20s anymore. I'm in my early 30s. So it's nice to have a 20s hangover when you're in your early 30s. That's nice. Anyways, so yeah, so that's where I'm at with this, and I'm going to finish this today and then hopefully start Terror at the Gates. Yeah. So I'll let you know.
Hey guys, I am here with my review on Play Nice by Rachel Harrison because I finished this, and let's get into the nitty-gritty of it without spoiling anything. So there's going to be no spoilers here. So without spoiling anything, I am going to be honest with you guys and tell you that the ending was just very anticlimactic for me. I feel like throughout the course of the story, we have this build up with the main character going into the house and be like starting to renovate it and actually staying there, and her realizing that there really might be something there. And then in between, we're following the chapters of the mother, and she's describing this entity that's in the house. And so it builds up for this big explosive thing, and that big explosive event just kind of never happens. Like, I had all these different theories about where it was going to go, and I was wrong. But to be honest, I feel like my theories would have made the book a little bit more entertaining, because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to happen. Oh my gosh, this. And it just didn't. Like, the dots didn't really connect. I don't know. And not only that, but like our main character was very infuriating. And I feel like I've only read one other book by Rachel Harrison, and like that main character was also very infuriating. It was so thirsty, and the best friend was also very annoying. So I don't know if Rachel Harrison just has a tendency to write characters that, I guess, yeah, are a little bit more complex, right? But to the point where they come off as annoying every time, I don't know. I don't know. So I did not like this as much as I anticipated to. So that's two down. Like, it wasn't a terrible book, and I definitely was entertained throughout the story, but it wasn't enough for me to want to pick this book up consistently. For example, when I was reading the Darcy Coates book, I like was picking it up all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there was, or what's the other book that I read after that? Dating After the End of the World. I was picking it up consistently. I did not want to put it down. And then I got to this one, and at first it held my interest, but as the course of the story like started going on, the character I just couldn't handle, and it was literally just the story, the mom story, and this entity that's in the house that were just kind of carrying the story for me. And then when that fell through because it was anticlimactic, it was like, well, what was all this for then? And so I'm not gonna be mean about it. Like, I still enjoyed the story. So I'm gonna rate this like a 2.75, 3-star if I want to be nice. But that's where I'm leaning with this one. So, which sucks because it's such a pretty cover. But that's why they say don't always judge a book by its cover, because you never know. Hello, you guys. I wanted to update you on Love and Other Conspiracies by Mallory Marlowe, because I started this last night, and this is like a 5-star prediction for me. It is also in my 10 before the end. And you guys, I'm loving this so much. I'm loving this so much. You guys know that I don't really read contemporary romance, but when it has things that do include my interest in it is when I'm like, okay, I can get into this. For example, The Love of My Afterlife. I loved that book so much. I believe I also gave it 5 stars, and it's about this girl that dies, goes to the afterlife, and then comes back. I love shiznit like that. So if you add stuff like that, then I'm more than likely gonna like the contemporary romance. I don't know why nobody talks about this book. It's so good. So we are following our two characters. We are following Hallie, and we are following Hayden. So Hallie is a girl that like works at this like big web series company. It kind of makes me feel like it's almost like BuzzFeed is like the vibes that I'm getting from it. It's an actual like website company that like makes web series. And so we're following Hallie, and she is like on the verge of almost getting like kicked to the curb, right? Because like she basically, her job is about to become obsolete. And so her friend's like, hey, if you want to keep your job, I highly recommend that you find an idea for a show so that you can produce it. And so Hallie is at home one night and she starts listening all of a sudden to this podcast, or actually I think it's a show that she was like watching, and then this guy comes on, he says that he has a podcast, and he is beautiful, but he's also very obsessed with like conspiracy theories and believing that like in ghosts and paranormal stuff. And so Hallie is like, I don't believe in any of this, but this is so interesting. And then pretty soon she finds herself like binging the podcast show. Like I said, she doesn't believe in these things, but she still finds them so fascinating. She finds them so entertaining. And so she ends up hitting him up and she's like, hey, I work for this like web series company and I have a proposition for you. And he gets back to her and he accepts the offer to do a web series. And at first he's very, very nervous for the pilot episode. Like he's very nervous, like speaking to the camera, because he's so used to just being a podcast and people hearing his voice, not actually seeing his face. And so Hallie bounces like off like some skeptic ideas off of him off camera to sort of get him pumped. But then the other people that are working around them are like, hey, you know what? It's actually really entertaining when you're talking to him. And this should be like a 2-person show because you're a skeptic, he's a super believer. And then they bounce off these ideas off each other, kind of like, think of Shane and Ryan from the Ghost Files. They used to be on BuzzFeed Supernatural. It kind of reminds me of that, but it's a girl and a guy that are obviously attracted to each other. And so we're following them, and they live in LA. So all of the haunted places that they're visiting so far are in Los Angeles. So you see them go to the Roosevelt Hotel, which is a hotel that is literally on my bucket list to film at and do a full paranormal investigation there. And then you see him talking about these conspiracies. You see him talking about the ghosts at the Roosevelt Hotel. And then they stay at the effing Queen Mary. And they stay in the most haunted room, which is room B340. And I was so excited because you guys know that I've talked about it. I've stayed at the Queen Mary. I've done a full-on paranormal investigation. I've even caught photos of spirits in the Queen Mary. So I love that boat. Like I plan on getting married on that boat. I found my fiance, like me and my fiance got together on that boat. Like, so I have such a soft spot for the Queen Mary. It's like my favorite boat ever. And so I'd like to see them staying there. It's just so cute. Like I love it. And then like he's like talking to her about his like little ghost equipment. He's like, this is the ghost box. This is an SB7 spirit box. And I'm like, I know exactly what you're talking about, sir. And he's like, this is the Ovilus. And I'm like, I know what that is too. And so I love it. I love it so, so much. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm having such a fun time. And yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys that I'm like obsessed with all, because I'm into the paranormal stuff, because I also do my own paranormal investigations, because I am into like the crazy wacky conspiracies, like, you know what I mean, like the whole Denver airport thing. I am so fascinated by this book. I am really, really, really loving it. So just wanted to let you guys know this book is amazing. Hi guys, I am back with my final review on Love and Other Conspiracies by Mallory Marlowe. I had a lot of fun reading this, and like I already mentioned, like they went to the Queen Mary, and you guys know that I absolutely love the Queen Mary. And just like seeing them paranormal investigating, which is something that I do in real life, and seeing them go to all these haunted places in LA that I know about, and like hearing all these like different ghost stories, like the ghost is on the Hollywood sign, and I'm like, I know this story, and like it was just so fun. So I had a really great time reading this, and I think I'm gonna give this a 4-star. I had a lot of fun. It wasn't like a 5-star, like, oh my gosh, this is the best book ever, but it definitely was a good, entertaining book. So this is gonna be a 4-star. 5-star. This is gonna be a 4-star review for me. And there's another book in here. It's called Love at First Sighting, which I guess is going to be another conspiracy book, but I think it's going to follow two different characters, because obviously they already established their relationship in this book. So that's my final review for Love and Other Conspiracies. All right, so I am here with my review on Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. When I first started reading this book, I did not like. Before I even picked it up, I was very like, this is either going to be a hit or miss for me because I heard that there's like a lot of misogynistic things in here, and that's like one of my biggest like things that get me is like misogyny in like fictional books. But I'm happy to say I guess there was a little bit, but it wasn't anything that was like, it wasn't like a big serious thing. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of like a silly little, it wasn't like drastic. It wasn't something that, I don't know, that like made me want like super upset, like nothing like that. So this was actually a really fun book. It was more like bro talk. You know what I mean? Like you kind of expect like how men are gonna like say things sometimes, and this is pretty much like a bro book, but I still very much enjoyed it. It literally was like a video game, and felt like I was like listening to a video game, and it was so much fun. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, Carl was fine, but the one that carried the story was Princess Donut, which is a cat. She is like amazing. I absolutely love her. I love how she like outsmarted like this cat is just amazing, and she really was like the chef's kiss, the cherry on top of the story, and she really carried the story so well. Plus the like effects, the little like leveled up and like you unlock this box. I found myself literally laughing out loud so many times, and I don't know the last time that a book made me laugh out loud so much. Like the humor is absolutely hilarious. There were moments where I just wasn't even expecting it to be that humorous, and then just he says something, or Princess Donut says something, or some other character say something, and then I just find myself like laughing my ass off. So this was definitely a great time, to the point where like I literally wanted to read the second book, but I'm like, it's not going to match with any of the main quest or side quest that we have going on for the readathon right now. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to hold off on it, which like made me be like, no. But at the same time, it made me realize how much I really enjoyed the story, to the point where I wanted to get to the next one immediately, because that never happens. That never happens to me. Like I'm like, I could wait for the next one. I could wait for the next one. It's really rare. Like it does happen, but it's very rare for me to be like, yes, I have to pick it up right away. So for me to feel that way about this one, it was great. This is a definite 5-star read for me, so I'm so glad. I think this is like my third 5-star in the readathon so far, so I'm so excited that I finally got another 5-star, and this is definitely going to be on my top books of the year for 2025.